The Dragonback series by Timothy Zahn. Book 3, Dragon and Slave. Chapter 30. There were no guards watching the cars. Jack helped himself to one, and they headed across the Chakuk family grounds. No one challenged them, either from the house or from the hidden guard posts, and soon they were through the gap in the thorn hedge. With Dracos directing, they arrived at Noy's isolation hut. It was empty.
"He has not been gone long,"
the dragon said, sniffing at the air in the cot.
4 hours, perhaps 5.
The empty juice bottles are still here, Jack said, peering under the cot. If the Brumgas had pulled them away, they'd probably have taken those along to try to figure out where they came from.
"Agreed,"
Draco said.
"Perhaps Noy decided he was recovered enough to return to the others."
Maybe, Jack said. As long as we're out here anyway, we might as well check. The meal hall was brightly lit as they arrived at the edge of the slave colony. The evening meal, clearly, was in full swing. Okay, Jack said, shedding his borrowed Brumgan armor and dumping it in the back seat. We do this nice and cool. As far as any of them knows, there's no reason I shouldn't be back. Crossing the empty ground, he walked into the meal hall. It was like stepping back into a bad dream, or more accurately, like stepping from one part of a bad dream into another. The sights, the sounds, the smells, all of it came rushing back like a multiple slap in the face. Even in the few days he'd been away, he'd managed to forget the squalor these slaves lived in. The squalor, the filth, and the hunger. And the hopelessness.
"To your left, 1 table back,"
Dracos murmured in his ear.
"Seated beside Marilyn."
I see him, Jack murmured back. Noy was there all right, looking tired, but otherwise mostly recovered, ready to go back to picking rainbow berries and making money for the Chakuk family. For the rest of his life. And as Jack thought about that, he felt something stirring inside him. A strange sort of anger, of a kind he'd never felt before. This was no place for a child. No place at all.
"You will go see if he is all right,"
Dracos prompted. Sure, Jack said, heading that direction. The Jantry twins were there too, sitting across from Noy and Marilyn. They looked too tired to even talk. One of them, Grib, had a slapstick welt across his forehead. And the stirring anger inside Jack started to burn with a white-hot glow. Yeah, we'll check him out, he told Dracos. And then we're going to get him out.
"What?"
the dragon asked, sounding startled.
"Are you saying?"
"Jack,"
Marilyn exclaimed as she caught sight of him.
"welcome back. We've been wondering where you were."
Sorry, Jack said, stepping to a spot between the twins. Greb had a fresh slapstick welt too, he saw now, angled across his shoulder. Fleck, or the Brumgas, must have been in especially good form today. I got delayed. How are you feeling, Noy?
"Okay,"
the boy said, smiling wanly up at him.
"A little tired, but mostly okay."
Good, Jack said. Then go get your things together. We're leaving.
"What do you mean?"
Marilyn asked, frowning.
"Her Thumbleness doesn't want him too, does she?"
I mean, we're leaving this place, Jack said, out past the wall, to freedom. The conversation at the nearby tables had faded away.
"Jack, are you feeling all right?"
Marilyn asked, her forehead wrinkling as she stretched out a hand toward his neck.
"Here, let me see."
I'm not sick, Jack told her, pushing her hand roughly aside. And I'm not hallucinating. I'm leaving right now, and I'm taking Noy with me.
"Wow,"
Noy breathed, his eyes wide.
"Just like he said."
"Jack, you can't just walk out of here,"
Marilyn said carefully.
"They'll whip you for even trying. They may even kill you."
They can take their best shot, Jack said. It won't do them a scrap of good.
"Jack, you're scaring everyone,"
Marilyn said, her voice low.
"Please, stop."
Abruptly, Jack realized that the whole room had gone dead quiet. Lifting his gaze, he looked around. They were all looking back at him. all the slaves, sitting silently, their meager meals forgotten. Most of the faces held scorn, he could see, or simple flat-out disbelief. Some of them, like Marilyn had said, were clearly frightened by Jack's attitude. Scorn or disbelief or fear, but no hope. They had been here too long, he realized. Whatever hope they might have had, Gazin and the Brumgas had burned out of them. No, this was no place for a child. It was no place for anyone. It was about time someone did something about that. I'm leaving, he called, raising his voice so that it could be heard throughout the whole room. Tonight. Anyone else hate this place enough to go with me?
You're a fool,
an Itra growled from 2 tables over.
Many have tried. None have succeeded.
Then I guess Noy and I will be the first, Jack said. Does that mean you're not coming?
Jack, this isn't funny,
Marilyn said in a low voice.
Noy's parents tried to escape. They died. The Brumgas beat his father to death. Can't you see that all this is doing is bringing back horrible memories?
It's not bad to have memories, Marilyn, Noy said. He was looking up at Jack, an oddly intense expression on his face. Memories anchor us to the past, give us a sense of the present, and point the way to the future. A tingle ran up Jack's back. That did not sound like Noy. Not at all. In fact, it sounded exactly like...
What's that supposed to mean?
The Itra asked with a sniff. It's something the gold dragon told me, Noy said. He said that memories would give us strength and courage.
Noy, you have got to stop this nonsense,
Marilyn said firmly.
It was a dream. I told you that. Nothing but a dream.
It was not a dream, Noy insisted. Abruptly, he stood up, wavering a little. Here's what he said. The night was calm, the battle near. The enemy was wet with fear. Their ears were hearkened, they had darkened. Memories we held so dear. And now at daybreak came the test. Again we charged, straight to their best. We cut them down, sword, gun, and crown. The battlefield with blood was dressed. Our vengeance thus we had achieved, the relics of our hope received. And to the song 12 eons long, we add the lives of comrades grieved. He took a deep breath and looked at Marilyn. See, he said defiantly, I didn't make that up either. Marilyn had a stunned look on her face.
Where did you hear that?
She asked. You couldn't just sit with him, Jack muttered toward his caller. You had to sing, too.
I told you,
Draco said. Yeah, sure, whatever. I told you the dragon sang that to me, Noy said. And he told me not to give up hope, that someday I would be free. Well, that day is today, Noy, Jack said, for you and anyone else who wants to go.
This dragon,
a Parpin said from across the room in a husky voice.
What did it look like?
It was all gold, Noy said, smaller than dragons you hear about in stories. He gave me food and juice, and he sang. The Parpin flexed his ears and stood up. All right, I'm in.
What?
The Itra demanded, turning in his seat to look up at the Parpin.
Have you gone crazy, Muskrat?
The gold dragon is a symbol of hope and change, the Parpin said. What have we to lose?
Our lives, for starters,
the Itra said scornfully.
If you two humans want to go be insane somewhere else.
I intend to, Jack promised, on the far side of the wall. He looked down at Marilyn. Well? Marilyn gave a deep sigh.
Jack, I can't. I have Grib and Greb and Lisa to think about. What would they do without me?
So bring the twins along, Jack offered. As for Lisa, maybe we can pick her up on our way out.
Pick her up where?
Greb asked.
She was right here.
Jack frowned. What do you mean right here? She's at the Chakuk family mansion.
No, she's not,
Marilyn said, frowning back.
How would she get there?
But... And then the horrible truth hit him. Lisa stealing out to the frying pan every couple of hours. Lisa, who had told him she only looked out for herself, coming to see how he was doing. Lisa risking her life with the Brumgan patrols to bring him food and blankets. Lisa helping Gazin make sure Jack stayed put throughout the night. Lisa, a Brumgan informant.
See?
Grib said, pointing behind Jack.
There she is.
Jack spun around. There she was, all right, slipping out the door into the night to report to her masters. Jack snarled one of Uncle Virgil's favorite curses, his eyes darting to the floor and the tables. The floor? Too crowded. He'd never make it around everyone and catch up with her, not with the lead she already had. The tables, then? Leap up onto one of them, bound across to the next, and so on to the door? There was just as many people around the tables as there were in the narrow aisles between them, and the tables were loaded with dishes and cups besides. No, there was only one way to stop her now. Only one person who could catch her before she blew the whistle and brought the whole Cook family down on them.
Dracos, he hissed. We haven't got a choice.
The dragon didn't answer, but Jack could feel him coil himself to spring. Jack braced himself, wondering dimly what all the scoffers would say when the golden dragon actually appeared. Then, from the direction of the doorway, came a sudden squawk. There was a second squawk, and to Jack's amazement, Lisa reappeared in the doorway. She hesitated, as if unwilling to continue, and then a large human hand appeared from the darkness and shoved her roughly all the way inside. And stepping into the hut behind her,
There you go, Jack,
Fleck called cheerfully across the room as he gave Lisa another shove.
That's what you were looking for?